I'm not a homeschooling mother. I don't like to homeschool my kids. I highly prefer that my kids go to school, okay? Hi, girlfriends. I'm naturally Shanice, your favorite girlfriend and mom bestie, guiding you through your natural and healthy hair journey and your best mom life. Today, I'm going to be sharing my personal lessons learned from homeschooling my kids over the spring, and then things that I'm going to do to improve our homeschooling experience in the fall. Definitely have, a little piece of mommy broken heart because I thoroughly enjoy my kids going to school. I think I've said this before in a blog post. So, but I just miss them getting out the house full time, my house being my own space, okay, between the hours of 9 to 5. Now, fortunately for me, I typically work from home. So my biggest adjustment throughout COVID has been having the kids and my husband home full time, sharing the house, sharing the space, cooking and cleaning while working. It's like, it never ends. It's a hamster wheel. Wake up, cook breakfast, wash dishes, eat, work, check email, play with your baby, respond to emails, cook lunch, prepare lunch, clean up lunch, wash dishes, wash the kitchen, check emails, jump on a conference call. If the baby takes a nap, then you might be doing what? Putting clothes in the laundry. Oh, it's time to prep dinner. All right, here we are at dinner, and so on, okay? And it's like that every single day. Oh my gosh, okay. I just wanted to say that, although them being at home is not my first preference, I, like many of you, are not willing to put our children's health at risk, our family's health at risk, and the public's health at risk. So it's the best decision for them to be home. So now we know that they're gonna be home. Now what? What happens, okay? We were all literally kicked on our bottoms because this was thrown at us in the spring, right? Next thing you know, they're going to school. Next thing you know, you blink your eyes and they're at home for 3 months, okay? So my strategy is to really plan for the fall school year, especially the start of the school year, right? I wanna do a better job of managing my time, managing the kids' time. There's a lot of things that I feel like I have to get in place because I learned so much from the spring semester that I wanna do better for the fall. So let's jump all the way back to March when we all found out that our kids would be at home for 3 months, okay? First, I was like, oh my gosh, so relaxing. No basketball on the weekends, no practices. We could chill out. It was a vibe, okay? It was a vibe the first 6 weeks. I was like, that, this is awesome. Just rest and rejuvenation, right? But then, the school, so my kids' school their school district took about 4.5 weeks to get up and running with virtual learning. So they really weren't doing a lot. When they came back to virtual learning, it was like, bam, here you go. We got online to their Google Classroom and the teachers have uploaded all types of lessons and videos, and my kids were looking at literally the rest of their assignments for the school year feeling overwhelmed. The technology wasn't working. Teachers didn't know how to work the technology. Teachers were unresponsive. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. So with that, I quickly realized that I'm not a homeschooling mother. I'm not a homeschooling mother. I don't like to homeschool my kids. I highly prefer that my kids go to school, okay? So I quickly learned that, right? I also quickly learned that I'm not as patient as I thought I was. I know I'm not like a saint when it comes to patience, but listen, having a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old in your house, 2 boys who are in puberty, my patience level is that's my patient level, okay? And I quickly learned that, patience is not my strength. Let's see, what else did I learn? Oh, I learned that teaching your own kids full time is a whole different beast than sending them to school and then coming home and doing homework, right? My kids don't listen, y'all. They don't listen. This is what the teachers are talking about. And I had to experience that for myself. Who would have thought? I thought I had an angel. It's like, I'm just kidding. I know my kids aren't angels, but so what am I going to do differently this fall when it comes to homeschooling my kids? First thing I'm going to do to set myself up for a successful homeschool experience in the fall is get my mind right, okay? Listen, in the fall, I didn't have my mind right. It was just like, bam, we're hitting the ground running. You guys are virtual learning, right? All of us, we were like, took our breath away, snatched our wigs. But this time, I feel like once the school year starts, we have a head start. We have experience from the spring. It's also already been announced ahead of time that our kids will be virtual learning full time. So therefore, we have time to get our minds right, moms, right? I want to spend a lot of time praying, asking God for wisdom on how to teach my kids, asking God for more patience with my kids, and an infinite amount of love, okay? Because why? Love covers a multitude of sins. So that's the first thing I want to do, is just get my mind right, wrapped around the fact that these kids are at home for another 5 months. They're at home, okay? So this time I'm going into it knowing that they're at home, there's nothing I could do about it, and they're not going back to January. Number 2, the second thing that I'm going to implement this fall semester is I'm gonna create a specific learning space for each of my kids. In the spring, I saw very quickly that my kids actually don't have a designated learning space. Don't judge me, you guys. My kids didn't even have a desk. How my kids work is that one goes to the kitchen table, the other one may go to the office, or they eat, or they work in our kitchen island, right? The boys were kind of all over the house, parking it wherever they could fit in, right? On top of myself and my husband working from home. For the fall, I am going to spend time this summer redesigning the boys' room. I'm gonna buy them desks, chairs to sit in. I'm gonna create a complete vibe that encourages them to learn so that they wanna wake up and go to school every day. Well, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but they're gonna have a great learning space. The fourth strategy that I wanna use is, I know this is gonna seem so like really Shawnee's, but it's the truth. I want them to make their own lunches. Listen, in the spring, sis was out here slaving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nobody has time for that. In the fall, you guys be making your own lunches every single day. I'm not doing it anymore. And like I said, my kids making their own lunch, what that means to me is just one less thing that I have to do. It takes a huge burden off of me. And again, it lets the kids own their day, own their time, be much more independent. So yeah, come fall, they're gonna be making their own strategy that I'm gonna use is I'm gonna purchase everybody in my house a headset. I was on conference calls, my husband were on conference calls, the kids were on their Zoom calls and virtual learning. Everybody was talking over each other. Computers were like echoing. Listen, none of that in the fall. Everybody gets their own headset in the fall so that we don't have to hear each other, speak over each other, and hear echoes from each other's laptops. The strategy that I want to use this fall for a better homeschool experience is setting up systems that support my kids in being independent. What does this mean, you ask? So my kids are 11 and 14, so that means that they have a level of independence, whereas if they were in kindergarten or first grade, they would be independent, but I think I would have a lot more involvement. I feel like with a middle schooler in high school, my involvement is still hands-on, but I could put processes and systems in place so that they're more independent with their time, understanding how to manage their own time and to take care of tasks while mom and dad are working. So I'm going to be using apps like Trello. I'm already testing it out this summer. Trello allows, it's basically like a project management tool. It's an app that I use at my organization, and many organizations use Trello just to track and manage tasks. You can create work boards, schedule deliverables, checklists. Everybody is very collaborative. So what I've been doing this summer is setting up a Trello board for each of my kids, and every day they have something to do. So for the school year, I'm going to take the same board, and I'm going to create boards for them, weekly boards that they can add to, right? So once they start getting their assignments, they can put those things in, due dates, they can take, a task or an assignment and move it from, ideation to in draft, from in draft to complete. And then I also can see across the board where they are with their projects, where they are with their tasks. And so my hope is that my kids will be able to set their own selves up in their own tasks and have improved project management skills, to have improved time management skills, since they're literally going to be home all day long. And it's stressful, right? Like working from home, managing kids. I want to be able to have less stress this fall by putting in systems and using apps and tools to help my kids be more independent in their time and how they manage their time. And okay, moms, you heard my strategies and lessons learned from homeschooling, and now I want to hear from you. comment below and share with me and our girlfriends, share with us your lessons learned in motherhood, specifically pertaining to homeschooling your kids in the spring, and then share your strategies or things that you want to improve upon for the fall to help set your family up for a successful virtual learning and start of the school year.